Hello. Let's see. Let's see if Bithia, I'm going to tag Bithia in this video. And then we'll see. Hey, everybody. So I don't think anybody's on yet, but Misty's here. Hi, Misty. Let me just text my friend and make sure she's, let's see. Okay. So we're going to do a Testimony Tuesday. Hi, Alex. Let's see. I'm going to try to I tagged my friend Bithia. She's going to join me in a little bit. But I was going to ask you, I was like, wait a minute, that's Misty's son, I think. Oh, yay. Alex, you're a spoonie with us. I'm so happy. Welcome, welcome. That's so fun. Family spoonies. So in a little bit, my friend Bithia is going to get on here. I don't know if I go away from here, if I go away from this screen, if I stay on or if it ends my live. So I'm going to just wait a minute. Hopefully she pops on. And when she comes on, I'm going to try to bring her on the camera. So let me see if I can do that. Because right now I think we have Misty and Alex. Okay. Oh, good. It looks like it didn't actually get rid of the live, right? I don't think it did. Misty, I'm cutting in and out again. Better? I switched to my internal internet instead of my data internet. Is that helping at all? Or is it still cutting out? Let's see, who else is on here? I'll let you know. I should need to talk more, right? Okay, so it says there's 3 people watching, but I only see 2 people. Now it says there's 4 people watching, but I only see 2. There's Allison. Hey, Allison. I'm just waiting for my friend Bithia to get on. I just messaged her. Hi. Shireen, is that how you say your name? Shireen? I guess it'd be hard. You'd have to type it how you say it. Shireen Croson. Hey, Allison. I'm going to do... Oh! I'm on, kind of. There you are. Okay, here's Bithia. Hold on one second. We'll bring her on. Send invite. Bring them on camera. Let's see if it works. It says send invite. Why does it keep doing that? Oh! Is it working?
Yes. Hi.
Bithia!
Hello.
It's working.
So I didn't even know you could do this. This is fun.
This is really fun. This is so much fun. So everybody, this is my friend Bithia. We've known each other.
Hi.
For a minute. How long have we known each other? Did we ever figure that out?
Well, let's see, almost 10 years.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
10 years.
It would have been, 2013 that I came to the Philippines. So.
Oh, that's right. Okay. So you got to tell everybody, because it's kind of wild, how you ended up in the Philippines with me, who you had met one time.
Yeah, like one time. So I was laid off from a job that I had, and I was looking for other employment and couldn't find anything. And this is in Southern California.
Mm-hmm.
And
hey, Nicole.
I was going to church with a mutual friend at Calvary Chapel, Murrieta, California. And there were some missionaries there, and it was just kind of funny that they were talking about what they do, and sometimes you can tend to not pay quite attention to what's happening, but I really felt like God was like, you need to pay attention to these people. They're saying some important things. So I was like, okay. But I just felt like I needed to perk up and pay attention more. So
Mm-hmm.
And then it was the Baileys.
The Baileys, yeah.
Yeah.
And Sherry.
And and I think that I don't know that you had been back just yet, or if you had just left again, or you were on your way back to California. It was somewhere, but I met them first and then you,
Oh, right.
and
That's right.
knew that you had stayed with our mutual friend while you were, on furlough, sabbatical, however you would say that.
Furlough. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah. And yeah, it was just kind of crazy because it literally was from, I want to say, from February, maybe January of 2013. And
Uh-huh.
then by April, I was in the Philippines with Jen just because we hit it off. And I just knew that this was something that I needed to do, was to go and help her because she needed help. And I was like, yeah, okay, I can do that. That's cool.
It was so
And
crazy. So I
yeah,
think we met at that home Bible study, right? Officially.
yes,
And I had been
yeah.
praying at the home Bible study, and I was only there for like 2 weeks or something because of furlough. And I was like, I am praying for somebody to come back with me because I desperately need to not be doing what I'm doing by myself. I need co-laborers or whatever. And the ladies looked at me like I was insane. Like, you're only going to be here for a couple weeks and you think God's going to provide somebody. And then the next Bible study, there you showed up. And then Kathy was like, hey, I don't even know how it came up, but it was like, hey, I'm looking for somebody. And then we hit it off, and you were like, I'll go. And then at the same time, I was asking Lindsay, who's in here in the spoon group, and I'd known Lindsay for 10 years prior to that. And so she was kind of like, I don't know if I want to go. And then the fact that you were a perfect stranger and you're like, I'm in, she was like, I'm an idiot, I'm in too. So then we had the three amigos, or
Yeah,
actually we were officially called
the
the
Glamazons.
Glamazons, we called ourselves. So it was a lot of fun. It was an
Yeah.
interesting, it was one of the best, honestly, it was one of the best times in my life in the mission field, was having you two there. And it was so neat how God put it together and how well it fit. Because Lindsay and I had known each other for so long, but I kind of think we would have probably killed ourselves, each other, if we had
Oh,
lived together. Like, and so having you there as like that third person was super helpful. And guys, we lived in a teeny tiny little house. I don't know
yeah.
how many square foot that house was. Lindsay and I shared a room. Bithia had her room, and we had a lot of adventures. It was a lot of fun.
It
What
was such a, yeah, it
Go
was
ahead.
just such a amazing experience because it totally changed my perspective on, um well, first, obviously, on missions,
Yeah,
right? Because I'd gone on plenty of many um missions trips, right? Like with the church, and you go and you know you serve a community, or
yeah,
some kind of a people group for a little bit, but literally like max for a week, versus me being there for 8 months and really getting a feel of like a completely other culture and being far away. Just all the different feels of like, man, this is amazing. Man, I am far away. Man, what is going on? and all of it, but still realizing that. And I'm sorry, my heater is so loud, so
oh, I can't hear it.
sorry in advance if it's like whooshing behind me, but uh yeah, it just, a lot of eye-opening experiences, but good also, and definitely making connections with people that you're still friends with for forever,
Uh-huh.
right? Like, I think of you guys, I think of the Nielsen's, and
Yeah,
just a couple other people in there that, Sharika, like
yeah,
all these different people that I made connections with, and just really life-changing for sure.
yeah. What do you think is one of the most like memorable just experiences you had while we were there?
Oh man, gosh.
There's a lot, I know.
Well, I think of when we served that village and just how crazy. I don't think I've ever served that many people all at once, and we were exhausted, but God's grace was all over it. To where, I mean, they can't. I mean, we were told one number, and it was like double that that came, and it's like, holy moly, okay, let's go. But then also a lot of the times when we were just the after relaxing parts, like when we went to the beach and
Uh-huh.
were um or when we were in Manila.
Yeah.
Yeah, Manila. For
Uh-huh.
some reason, sometimes I still say Milan,
Same thing.
even though I've
Milan,
never been
Manila,
to Italy, not yet, but
Milan.
someday. Yeah, and just that time there. So a lot of the time, because that was bonding times, right? Like,
Yeah.
where you just were relaxing and having fun with each other. So it was just, yeah, it was a really good experience for sure.
Yeah. And what was it like being a extreme minority in the area? I have to ask
Wow.
you, 'cause
So
that
yeah,
was crazy.
so there was that aspect of it was fine because I think I anticipated it, right?
Yeah.
I anticipated that, okay, this is gonna be a thing. It's not only that I'm black, I'm like tall and I'm a glamazon,
Yeah.
right? So I stand out a little bit.
Yeah.
But I never felt put out about it. It was more comical than anything because uh usually they were trying to use their English, and so whatever English words or people they knew, that, oh, Whitney Houston, oh, Michael Jackson, oh, like
That
it was
was
just
so
always
funny.
really funny.
They're
Like I
like
was like,
naming
oh,
random
okay,
black people at you. You're
yeah,
like, I
yeah,
don't know
any
them.
black, yeah, any black
Okay.
artist or celebrity, maybe threw Michael Jordan in there. I don't know. I just
It
it
was
happens and
it
it's
was
fun.
crazy. It was really
Yeah,
crazy. Like literally, okay, we were in a city of 2 million people. And I think there was 3 black people we knew of that were in that area of 2 million.
right.
So imagine. So there was a lot of Bithia had probably the most of like, the just attention on her. And I think that could be rough too. But I think what was fun. So my friend Lindsay, who's on here, she's Hispanic. So we would laugh because at the time, remember when ombre was really big? So like we would crack
Hmm.
up because it was like an ombre situation and we're all really big,
Yeah.
tall women. And so I think we were joking about like people thought we were like a singing group or something like that, I think,
Oh yeah. I mean, one of the
multiple
places
times.
that we stayed, they literally knocked on our door and tried to get our pictures and autographs.
Oh
We're
yeah,
like,
that was
we're
where we
not.
went on vacation. That was funny.
Yeah. And it was like, we're not. No. Okay.
We're
Well,
just trying
we're
to
just
have some
regular.
space.
No, no pictures. No pictures,
I
please.
know. Paparazzi.
Yeah.
That was
But what was
really,
actually really cool and
yeah,
interesting, I mean, aside from meeting the other black lady that served in the
the one
Philippines,
other.
that which was really funny. But when we went to that festival and there was that particular tribe, that they had some African roots, and you could tell because they came up to me and they're like, "We look like you. We look like you," because
Oh,
of their hair being a little bit kinkier, and I did
oh,
happen to have on a lot of um, Filipino garb, I guess. I just remembered that being a really sweet thing to
moment.
identify with. It was really
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, that's so cool. Yeah, I think one of the beautiful things is too there is like there's a big push there to have lighter skin. And so I think just how people I love to watch how people would bond with you because I
Mm-hmm.
wanted them to see like people are beautiful. Like God, all people are beautiful. And
Yeah,
like it was
yeah.
just I just like to see that. And they had a lot of like when we did the youth camp and stuff, the kids loved you and the youth group people loved you. And then you were a DJ at one point, weren't you? There?
Yeah, so I was able to go on the radio with another friend that was serving there, and it was I think just like Wednesday nights, and it was kind of a Bible study and just sharing God's word with over the air. It was one of the funnest things that I've ever done. Always thought that I would be nervous, and then I would get there, and I would just be like, "Yeah." So, anyways, and it was so fun. I've wanted to do it since getting back, and I've never really had a chance to do that, but
Didn't
we'll
you have
see.
like a name? Did you have like a DJ name or something?
I don't. I don't remember that. I don't know
I
that I
think they
did,
named
but
you something. I think.
if so, I mean,
I don't
that would be
remember
really
what it
cool.
was,
But
but I think they
yeah.
did. Because like Teresa was Ate Awesome. And then I thought they
Oh
gave you a name too, but I can't remember now what it was.
man, yeah, I cannot remember.
That was really
I just
fun.
I just appreciated the opportunity to do it. It was super fun, and I mean, I could easily. It was just something that I was like, man, I should have gone into broadcasting. It was
DJ
fun.
Glamazon. There you go. Nicole's calling you DJ Glamazon.
Maybe.
So yeah, and that's actually honestly it's one of the reasons I knew. So we're trying to set up different interviews, guys. I'm talking to the group now for the for Testimony Tuesday, and I had some different people lined up, and one of our leaders was going to do it, and she was sick, and then we ended up changing it from Mondays to Tuesdays. And I was like, man, I don't want to wait till next week. I want to get someone on today. Who would be a good person that would like jump in and do it? And I was like, Lindsay or Bithia. They would, either of them would be like down.
Absolutely.
Either of the Glamazons. So that's how
Let me tell you something about Jennifer. Like, she's been very much a confidant and a solid rock for myself. Like, especially because of the times in which we live, and we have our little prayer group that we have, and man, it just, talk about a solid friendship. Like, she's a golden person. She's a keeper. So she cannot get rid of me.
It's been so great too, because like we became friends really fast and like really deep, really fast. And we miss each other, and I always live where it's hot, and she always lives where it's cold, and we can't figure that out. And like I like cold weather, and she likes hot weather.
Exactly.
So
you'd think somehow we'd be able to figure out living in the middle somewhere.
I know.
I don't know.
And and then also I had this, because they know who Nana is because they pray for her and stuff. So testimony for Nana is she's out of both her cast, and she's mostly out of her finger thing. So she walks out today, and she's like, I took a shower by myself. She's all excited. But Lindsay or Bithia and Nana say, okay, you've met my Nana one time, I think, before you came to join with me. So Nana loves Bithia, and they both are on, what is it, Words with Friends?
Yes. Yeah, we play Words with Friends together.
They're like, she loves her, but on Words with Friends, they're like arch nemesis. And so like Nana will sit there and be like, take that, Bithia, and she'll like totally talk smack. It's hilarious. And she's also,
I always feel bad because she was like, no, darn it.
It's really funny. They love it. They're so hilarious. So we're trying to get Bithia out to visit. She's also convinced.
Yeah, I really definitely do need to come out there.
I know.
I mean, that would be so
she
fun.
loves you so much that she like wants you to be related to her somehow, because you guys have this. Her maiden name is Hatch, and Bithia's last name is Hatch. And even though her maiden name's her adopted name, but she like wants it to be that you guys are somehow
distant. That is so
it's
sweet.
Really cute.
I love that.
It's really sweet. So I guess for Tess, that's more of the background of how we know each other. And that's also, I added you to this group because I'm like, I want to add like people that I know. Like, this group is very encouraging, and just God's been doing a lot of really cool things. We were talking in the ministry group how like a lot of people have been stirred to do things, to step out. Like, I think even Nicole, who's the one with her Jeep journey, you just shared, Nicole, something today about how God's calling you into like it's an outreach having to do with Jeep, I think, or you can put it in the comments if you want. Like she does like Jeep traveling. You know how people go and like, my brother and sister-in-law do that, but they don't do the travel. They do like the local group where they go crazy on their Jeeps. So, but there's just a lot of people in this group that God's used it to stir up their gifts and like encourage them to step out. And so it's just been really, really cool. But I just wanted to add people to the group who I knew would be encouraging. Hey, Gabs. Gabs is from Puerto Rico, right? Did I get that right? I think so. I think Gabs. She's one of the ministry team folks. So anyway, so I just thought I want to add people in this group and have people on these interviews that will just be cool to share, like what. Yes, good. I got it right. Well, be good to share, like just pour into the group that way, I guess. So
yeah, for sure.
So I don't know if you can read the comments or see them. Nicole is her Jeep journey. She says, I just talked to the CEO of a Christian Jeep Association, and I will be starting the 37th chapter in California. That's so good. But it's been really neat. I think we've told Danny a lot, like we're kind of in his splash zone. Like he stepped out and did something, and then other people jumped in, and then somehow it's like he's walking in obedience to God, and it's encouraging other people to step out too, which is cool.
That's cool. Yeah.
So,
absolutely.
Anyway, the floor is yours if you want to share anything or if anything was on your heart.
Really, it's an interesting time. I was at a church staff meeting this morning, even though I technically, and I don't know if even Jen knows this, but I've officially stepped down from being missions director for my church. I'll still be on the missions team, but I'm really refocusing and trying to, like, I don't know if anybody is familiar with doing a word for the year. And this year for me is heal. And it's both receiving healing as well as being an agent, I guess, so to speak, of healing, and speaking in ways to restore relationships that may not be, at their best, or um, being that much more intentional in encouraging people. Because I'm big on, no, you speak life over situations that seem like death, or seem like things are helpless and hopeless.
Yeah.
Continue to speak life over those things.
Yeah.
So and with me stepping back, and I've also stepped back, I was also on our women's um uh ministry council, and I'm kind of stepping back from that as well. And that was, I mean, that's not as big of a deal, because that was, I think we have like 20 women on council or something like this. But just all that to say, I just want to refocus in on kind of like what you were just saying, as far as stirring up our gifts, really focusing in on, what does the Lord have for me? What is he gifted me with? Am I using them? And if not, then, what's the holdup? And,
Yeah.
so just really kind of letting go of, like the verse says, letting go of the things that are hindering, and knowing that even though sometimes those things are good, if it's not right for right now, then it's going to be blocking, or it's going to what's the word I'm looking for? It's going to hinder what you actually should be doing. There's
Right.
plenty of good things, good causes to be a part of,
Yep.
but if you aren't uh, in sync with what God has specifically for you,
Yeah.
then then you're missing out on what is actually um, what you've been made to do.
Right.
And that's not to say that sometimes there's not busier seasons, or
Right.
all of those things, and the fact that God is a redeemer, he redeems time,
Hmm.
um but we still need to walk in obedience to uh what he's called us to, and what he's
Hmm.
put in us,
Yeah.
and and that comes with communicating with him, praying and meditating and spending time with quiet time, to where you can actually um hear what the Lord is saying to you, and whether you're hearing it by reading a scripture. And sorry, but I have of the firm belief that God's not mute. So if we would quiet ourselves enough, he will speak, you know?
Yeah.
So, um, pardon me, I'm getting adjusted here, but all of those things just, uh, and I think we're all having to do that a bit, right? With how things have been with the last 2 years. And, we're all trying our best to,
That's true.
thrive and, live our lives. I have mixed emotions or feelings about living our best lives. Like, well, okay, like, yes, there's some fun in that, but let's also be mindful of actually living for the Lord, and
Right.
living like accordingly, right? But
Right. Not just
yeah,
for
we
ourselves.
want to be fun and, live our best life, and, look flawless and all this, but okay.
Oh my gosh.
Also, let's remember to serve people. And let's
Right. Right.
remember
Exactly.
to
Bithia, I can't
be
tell you
kind. And
how many times in my brain do I just hear your voice going, okay, okay. Like I say it now because of you. Okay. Oh, Misty was asking you a question. She said,
oh, I missed it.
she says, does she have anything that we can to follow you on to keep up with you? Like I think adding you on Facebook. She's in the group too,
Yeah,
and then
absolutely.
I don't know if you're on like TikTok or Instagram or any of those or
I'm not on. I am definitely on Instagram. I don't do a lot of things on there, unfortunately. You know what it is that I have already started. We didn't mention this yet,
uh-huh.
Jen, but I'm in throes of becoming an author. So I technically already have
She's already published.
a, a few kids' books, but I'm trying to wait until, because I've just actually submitted another book of mine. It's an alphabet series, and I initially started it just for my nieces, and then I was like, oh, I could actually make this a whole thing. So I have an actual author page, Bithia Dionn, and it's on Instagram.
Okay.
And it's not anything. It's not nearly official. Just, just so you know, I'm not a big deal. So
That's not true. You're a huge deal. So she has 2 books. She has 2 books on Amazon. If you look up Bithia, is it Dio? How do you spell the last
oh,
word?
it's my middle name. So Dionn, 2 N's because my mother.
Oh, it's your mother. Well, and
No E, no E.
just
And yeah.
I think you
So
can. Yeah,
my
you can.
first book was called I Hate Winter. And that was self-published just to see if
That
I
was
knew how
really
to
cute.
go about doing it. Also because I do hate winter, but the Lord, he made winter too, so whatevs. But
That one's really cute because Bithia put like one thing I appreciate about you is you were like, I need to just get going with this writing stuff.
yeah.
And you were like, okay, maybe I'm not an artist, but you know what? I'm going to illustrate it myself. And you guys have to see it. It's super cute and it's very relatable, especially if you don't like winter, even for adults. But it's really cute and it's about a little girl and she's, her mom's trying to help her have more of a positive view and not just be like,
And that little girl is definitely me.
definitely based on real life events and a real life person. Names have been changed. No.
Yes, to protect the innocent. No.
Yeah. And then you have your alphabet. So she's doing 1 book for every letter of the alphabet. So K is out already.
K is out just because that was the first book that I wrote for my niece Kayla.
Yeah, you have a little Misty.
Sarah,
Bella would love
S
them.
is for Sarah.
Bella would love them. Misty has a little
What's
girl.
that?
Misty has a little girl who's how old is Bella? She's like, I don't know how old she is. She's not school age yet, but she's real cute. She would love reading the books.
Perfect.
Yeah.
That's kind of my goal, to be like a full-fledged author would be like straight up, Max Lucado, like, because you know how he writes for all ages,
I
adults
love his stuff.
and, kids alike.
Yeah.
C.S. Lewis, he's one of my very favorites. I don't know, there's no way I could get on his level, but just that he's very much one of my very favorite authors.
Yeah, for sure.
I think I knew even when I was I just received for Christmas from our mutual friend Kathy Smith, who also has a cute little book. A little shout out to her.
Oh yeah, she
runs a farm.
Her farm. That one.
Yes, it's really cute. She got me Little Women's, like an anniversary edition book, and because that was one of my very first big books that I read by myself. And I feel like that's how I kind of knew that I wanted to be an author, like just like Joe in the book. So
yeah, it's so relatable.
Yeah,
I love her. Those and all of her original books. Because I mean we know the movies and stuff, but the Little Women, the Little Men, and the Good Wives, I think is that whole series. Those are so good. The one about the boys' school broke my heart in so many ways.
Joe's Boys,
gave me such a heart for kids coming from hard places, and I think that's been a big part of like why I've worked with traumatized kids and stuff. And that's the thing I was just telling the ministry group, because like I have some writing projects like started, but I need to get Bithia and I are in a little writing group too. We put together on Facebook of a couple people trying to get stuff out. And I was just thinking about that, and I thought it's like that books just have such an impact on you, especially as a kid. Like sometimes you don't realize until you look back and go, man, that gave me a heart for this, or that gave me a desire to travel, or that whatever. I think and I just love the story. And I was saying how like there's a reason that Jesus used storytelling in so much of his teaching, because it's very memorable and it's very impactful. And so I just love it. I think more people need to be putting stuff out there. I have a couple friends. I'm trying to get a couple people that I know to get their own just memoirs out there, because they're amazing. Some guests we're going to have coming up on these Testimony Tuesdays, but like it's so important. I love that you just go after it. And even if you're still learning, like I know you first did your self-publishing, then you went with a publisher and stuff. So what's the one that's just coming out or just came out? What's that? Or the K for Kayla just came out recently.
Yes, and that was more of a, because there's self-publishing, and then there's companies that will kind of help you self-publish, and which was what K is for Kayla was. And then this next one that I did, they do both. They do either, you could choose either, or I should say, they offer either help with you to self-publish or they offer traditional publishing. And I feel like because of the volume in which the books that I have, I would prefer traditional publishing so they could all get out all at once.
Once you have
Versus
them
if,
all. Yeah.
yeah.
Do you
So,
have
and
them
I
all
won't
written?
know that.
All
What's
the
that?
Do you have all the alphabet books written?
Oh, yes. They've been written for about, I want to say 2 or 3 years now. And I would edit some of them every so often, but yeah, they've been already written. I just didn't, I was like, so now what do I do? How do you do this? I do not know what to do. I was actually initially going to get a literary agent and all this, but then I just happened upon this particular publishing group. And so it's like, oh, okay. So and then I just kind of was, I had been praying throughout the process and that, the Lord would show me how to go about doing things. And so
you're doing
now
it.
I just wait. Yeah, now I'm doing it and it's done. And I'm like, holy moly. Now I just kind of just wait to see what happens. Don't get ahead of myself at all. But
Nicole says, you have time. My granddaughter is Amelia. She has an A. So Bella is Misty's little one. She's 3 years old and she said she loves books.
That's awesome. So. Yeah, I love it. And that was the thing, is that initially the first book, I mean, they're all alphabet books, which means that they're geared toward kids that are learning their alphabet.
Yeah.
Are starting to learn to read, even though there's some bigger words in there, but bringing back phonetics and that type of literacy.
Yeah.
But in writing it for my older niece, well, she's already 11. Like, I was like, oh, dang it. So with the younger one, she's 6. So she's right in there. Like, she's got her ABCs, but now she's learning to read and do all that. So
yeah,
she is 7 months old.
Good. She's got time.
Yeah. What was fun for me was trying to come up with names for all of because the premise of the alphabet books as well, all plural alphabet books, is that they're all the main characters are all girls, and that is not usually the case in kids literature, especially younger kids. For some reason, if the main character is a human as opposed to like an animal or something, it's usually always a boy. It's from what the statistics that I read, it's usually it's about 30% of the time it's girls, and then the rest is boys. I can do my math. 70%. So
yeah, but you're a writer, not a mathematician. So
yeah, exactly. I got some math in there, not a lot.
Yeah.
So all that to say, there's quite a gap, and then girls of color, even more so of a gap, right? Like, it's going to be even less. So
yeah.
So that's what the premise, or I shouldn't say the premise, because the premise is obviously alphabets, but
part of your goal.
Maintaining that theme of like, no, let's have girls can read, so let's
and they can be main characters in alphabet.
Yes, and they can be main characters.
Well, so, and like I know Bithia and I have talked about this, but my cousins when they were small, Gabs.
That is what calculator. That's exactly correct.
Yeah, my cousins when they were small, my grandmother. I remember my grandmother because their kids now have a couple of your books that we sent them, but their mom. We used to say as kids, like, their mom's vanilla and their dad's chocolate. So they were, kiddos of color, and there was nothing out there for them. Like, I remember my mom was like making a quilt for them, and all the patterns even were like little white girls. So she was adjusting and trying to find the tone for their skin color to make them these little like prairie girls with darker skin. And then my grandmother would sit there and she would find kids' books and color in the skin to be darker and color in their hair to be darker. And even like Band-Aids, like we were like flesh colored Band-Aids. Like we couldn't, like we were excited when they came out with the clear ones, but even then it was like,
Yeah.
just, I don't know, it just opened a lot of our eyes to like the kind of stuff they dealt with. And they're my age now, they're in their late 30s, early 40s. So there's a lot of options out there. Even like the American Girl dolls.
Right.
My grandmother wrote so many, she's passed away now recently, but she wrote so many letters to American Girl dolls going, look, these dolls don't look like all the girls that are out there, and I can't buy a doll for my granddaughter that looks like her. And what's crazy is her granddaughter, Ashley, her daughter, Hope, who's now a model, actually has modeled for packaging for American Dolls.
Oh, that's
So it's
sweet.
like such a
Oh.
cool thing that has come like full
Yeah.
circle. But it's so,
And they just recently, within the last, like, I want to say maybe 5 years,
yeah,
have finally come out with skin tone band-aids. Because that has been a thing where it's like,
of like different skin tones too, I
hello?
think. Like different, like, because
Yeah.
my aunt was talking about that, how she has different, because she realized she'd put on a darker skin. She was telling my Aunt Martha, she was like, oh, I should have saved this for Hope or something. She had worn a darker skin tone because she had gotten
Yeah.
one that was like a variety of skin tones. And so that's new
Yeah.
though. That's recent. And it's like, for goodness sake, that took forever. But
Yeah.
I think representation is super important to see yourself, especially as a child in a book,
Mm-hmm.
because then you can know. And like, I know your K one is cute. Like it talks about all the things that Kayla does. And it's like, it
Yeah.
gives a lot of good examples of like, you can do this too. You can be
Right. Yeah.
like Kayla. So I think it's good for kids to see themselves. It's just, it goes beyond like A is for apple and B is for banana. It's not like that.
Right.
It's an actual
Yeah.
little story for every one of them. And then every one of them has like, everything on all the pages. It starts, how in the world did you do X? That's what I want to know.
Oh, wait till you see it.
I was going to say X.
I think X's, her name is Xena with an X. So
Oh, cute.
XENA. And, she plays a xylophone. Like, you got to put them all in there. I can't remember them from the top of my head. I'd have to look, but yeah, that's why I said it was a process. I think it took me a good, maybe 6 months to write all of them.
Yeah.
And then once I had them, editing them, I'm sure they'll get edited a bit more in this publishing process. But yeah, so those of you that have been listening in and that are on here, please be praying that that there's favor, and that I mean, because that is the point, is that they would be widely distributed, so that
bye. Thanks, Nicole. Sorry, Nicole's saying bye. She's got to go to a meeting. Thanks for joining us.
Oh, thanks. Nice to meet you.
But yeah, prayers that they'd be widely distributed and they would have
success
and stuff. And I think just also, so like, okay, because I know there's a couple people watching this now, and then usually people go back and like watch later. So if you were to say to somebody in here, like, who feels like God is stirring them to do something, whether it's writing or get more involved in ministry or whatever, like, what would you want to encourage them, or how would you want to encourage them?
I'd encourage them, because now listen, like, I mean, we're in our 40s. And while there's not like a rush, and it's never too late, that's obviously a thing. Like, don't give up on yourself. If you have a desire in your heart, it's there for a reason. Pray about it, explore it, see, like, Lord, what is this? How do I go about doing this? And just know that you don't have to do all of it at once. That was something that my older sister, she was encouraging in that. She was like, he didn't tell you that you had to do, X, Y, and Z. Just start with A, like, or which is kind of funny and ironic in wanting to write in general, but just start somewhere. Start, baby steps is that type of deal. And yeah, just keep going forward with it, even if it's crawling and it's just a little bit here and there. Just keep doing it. Something that, because I do want to write in all different kinds of genres, I will sporadically write something that pops into my head. I will jot it down. I recently just had, and Jen knows about my crazy dreams that I have.
Oh my gosh, so many.
But
I used to ask her every morning, what did you dream about? Who was in your dream?
Yeah, I had this really interesting dream where it was like a story because I didn't recognize anybody in it. And so I just started writing it down. I was like, this is actually a good story. I would read this book.
Okay, wait,
So
you gotta tell about your Brangelina dream you had when you were in the Philippines. Do you remember that one?
Oh man. I think either I watched too many movies or something was happening, but I was literally having celebrity dreams like all the time.
See,
And one of
every
them was
morning
very
we were
specific.
like, what celebrity
Yeah.
was in your dream last night?
I had a dream. Well, and I used to be a nanny for a little bit. So I had a dream that I was nannying for Brangelina with all their kids, like when they were younger, like 10 years ago. And it was so real. It was like, okay, yeah, take the kids. We're going to go to a play. And you go get our seats. And,
Like,
and half
super
of us are
detailed.
now coming. It was so funny. But it was so real. And I totally remember it still. It's so funny.
Because it was really realistic. They're like,
Oh,
wasn't
yeah.
it like, oh, can you run home and grab something we forgot for one of the kids? Like,
Yeah.
it wasn't like it was this extreme situation. It was like normal life situation
Yes,
that you
exactly.
just happened
That's
to
what made
like
it
be.
funny. Yeah.
It was
Oh
so
yeah,
funny.
some of the kids are still at home. You need to go get them, and then we'll meet you there and save the seats. Oh yeah, it was
Breakfast was very entertaining with Bithia because she would tell us her dreams.
And Jen and we've come up with some stories of our own. I still think about that play about using. You were the one that helped me think about the one where everybody's name that's in it is named Zach or Zachary.
So one of my favorite actors is Zachary Levi, who happens to be a believer. And at the time when we were living together, we were watching the show Chuck, which he's in. And for whatever reason at that time, there were so many Zachary actors, Zach this and Zach that and Zach Galifianakis or whatever, all those actors. And I don't know why we were like, let's write a play and cast all of the Zachs.
Yeah.
And make it about everybody being
totally
named
be
Zach.
A thing.
Like, I don't know, we're weird. But because you were like, well, what was it, like Matt Damon and Ben Affleck like wrote something and they got discovered. And I don't know. We should definitely do a writing project together. That would be so much fun.
We totally should. Yeah,
that'd be a lot of fun.
They got an Oscar from their writing.
Oh yeah,
together,
that's right.
First thing. So yeah,
that's right. Totally gonna happen. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. I think that's a part of knowing who God has made you to be. Like if you like, I have super vivid dreams too. One thing I've started doing with writing specifically is like if I'm writing on Facebook, sometimes I write an epistle of a response, especially in like the recovery groups and stuff I'm in. And I'm like, hey, that's pretty good. So I've actually been copying and pasting it into a long Word document, all having to do with like responses regarding abuse and things like that. And then I just had something, I posted it in the Spoon group about forgiveness. And I posted it in another group in one of the abuse recovery groups. And a couple people were like, hey, can I share that? And I've been trying to get a blog up and running for a while. And I even told the girls, I'm like, I bought the domain. I've like, hold me accountable to do this, the girls in the writing group. And then I never did it. So now I'm like, okay, I need to actually start. And I have a list of like, I think part of it is making your, like you were saying, taking notes, making a list of like, these are different things I know God has put in my heart that I want to talk about or whatever. And even that's like Danny's phenomenal on TikTok. He's very good on TikTok. If there's anybody here listening or listening later that like wants to do that, like TikTok reaches a huge, I mean, all of us are in this group basically because of TikTok. That's how this group started back in September. So like that's a huge place because there's so many people on that platform. Like I definitely want to produce more content for that, but I have a heart for people that are on there too, because there's a lot of people searching. There's a lot of people in deconstruction Christianity and stuff like that on there as well. So I think, yeah, just like what Bithia is saying, encourage, start somewhere, do something, make an outline. You know, if you have an idea for a ministry, like I know Cass is recently stepping further into ministry, what she's doing, you know, just step out, say, hey, if you want to get more involved at church, say, hey, where is the need? You know, you'll do it with me. You'll do what? The more TikToks? Yeah, Misty has some good TikToks out there too. She's a really, really good photographer. You guys need to follow each other so you can see her photography work and stuff.
That'd be awesome.
And she has some really cute kids. Misty, did Alex get over to the guys study? Because I think I'm going long, but they're running it at the same time. I think. Yeah. I mean, I'm not going long. It's okay. It's just no guys can be on here, but that's okay. Girls only right now. It's mostly girls. It's mostly girls in this group anyway. The guys, we started a captivating book club a while ago, and then the guys were like left out. So they're 9:30. Oh, so they have a little bit more time. So the guys have the other book, the companion book, The Wild at Heart. So they're doing. You have to check out the group. The advertisement for the men's thing is so funny. It's like it's really funny. The guys had all that was all them and Gabs putting it together
Right.
with the vision. It's really it's like something with lumberjacks and bears and manly stuff. It's really funny. So anyway, I'm gonna probably wrap us up so the guys can get over there and be focusing on that. But thank you so much for coming on, my friend, and thank you for
that's so cool.
and yeah,
I
Misty
just want
said,
to add
huh?
the last little bit of my
Oh yeah, go
encouraging
ahead. Sorry,
because
go ahead.
well, just the fact that because in thinking about, I know that as a single lady, I have that much more time on my hands maybe than and I don't know. I assume that we're all single. I'm not sure how
Most of us in here are single, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But some of you might have kids, or
Mm-hmm.
you have more demands on your time. But so I don't want to take away from that or that reality. But just know that what it's going to always, if you don't try to attempt those things that are there, there's never going to be ample time unless you just make it a point, like intentionally set apart time for that. So that was just something else I wanted to put out there because
Like it's never going to be a good time. It's never going to be a perfect time, kind of.
Right.
Yeah, it's true. Because it's easy to be like, well, when I have more time to do this, or like you put it, you just leave it on the back burner forever, and then never leaves the back burner. That's a good point.
Yeah, exactly. Just like I'm already like, oh gosh, okay, I need to start my gym membership up again for like the umpteenth time. It's literally just down the street. How many excuses am I gonna make? I don't know. Well, especially because it's always rainy here, so I'm like, well, I can't go for a walk.
It's wet. It's raining.
It's wet outside. Why would I do that?
Bithia lives in Washington, so it's like it's cloudy up there, rainy. But what's the other thing?
But yeah, thanks for having me on here. This was really fun. I missed you, my friend.
I missed you too.
So nice to be able to.
And Misty said you should start a podcast, which you totally should. You'd be such a good podcast host. We would so follow you.
I think about that. That would be so fun.
Yeah.
I mean, eventually that will probably be down,
Yeah.
a little bit later once,
DJ, whatever your name was. And now I'm going to have to ask Teresa or Shrika or Teresa, because I know they had a name for you. I just can't remember. But after I end the live too, I'm going to drop your links to your books. And if you can comment on the live after it like saves with just so people know where to click to follow you if they want to friend you or whatever.
Okay.
And do you have a different Facebook account just for your writing? I don't remember.
No, just Instagram.
Or your Instagram. Yeah, maybe put your Instagram up or something. But
okay, we'll do.
Love you, fellow Glabs.
Love you. All right.
Bye.
Take care.